Back to my channel, and today I'll be talking about how I almost became a sugar baby. So basically, what happened was that I was on an app and I was just trying to like make friends and all that stuff, and so I was on there and I was having like a good old time, and there was this lady and she hit me up and she was like, "Oh, hey, pretty," and she was basically like calling me pretty and stuff like that. And then after that, she was like, "Oh, add my snap and stuff like that." So I like added her and all that stuff. And then we got to talking. I was trying to be like casual and I was just trying to be like polite and all this stuff. And then we just started talking. And then she was like, "Oh, do you know what a sugar baby is?" And I was like, it was like sugar baby, sugar mama, one of them things. And then I was like, "Yeah, but I think that's like pretty weird and stuff." And then she was like, "Oh, do you ever thought about like becoming one?" And I was like, "No," and all that stuff. And I asked her about like what entails in it. And then she was like, "Oh, she was like, oh, all you have to do is talk to me, then you get paid." And then she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay you like 5,000." And then she was like, "Your allowance is like 3,000, like 5,000, something around there." And then after that, I just like was like telling her I didn't want to do it anymore, but I was just interested and like curious of what it did entail, because like I've heard of it, but I never heard like the full details or like met someone who actually did it. I've only like heard it online and stuff. Um, And then after that, I was just talking to her. And then I just like, for me, I'm a person where like, if I get a feeling about something, I stick with my feeling, because whenever I don't stick with my feeling and everything, something always goes wrong. So I decided to stick with my feeling and just like remove her as a friend on Snapchat. The reason why I'm a person where I remove friends and not block them is because when you go into settings and you block them, they're like still in your settings. So if you ever choose to like, um, add them back, you can, and you can just do it mad quick. So I would rather just to unfriend them and just like clear everything and then just be gone, because I'm a person where like I might actually unblock someone that I've blocked just for block's sake, and I don't know why. So I will like unfriend someone instead of blocking them, because I don't want them in my settings. And then after that, she was just like, when I told her that, she was just like being like really, really nice about it. She was like, "Oh, why dear? And why not dear?" And all that stuff. And it was just like, she didn't say like, "Oh, why not dear?" She was like, "Why dear?" And all that stuff. And she was just being like very, very nice. And she just gave me like this weird vibe. It was like a weird like groomer vibe. Like, you know how people always talk about, like, you have like groomers and stuff like that. And they're like very sweet and they're very kind, because like they're trying to gain your trust. And it was just like giving me like weird groomers vibes, and I really did not have time for it, because it was just making me like very, very uncomfortable. And I'm first, like I said, if I feel something and my intuition is wrong and I'm gonna get scammed or something, I follow and I listen to it, because if I feel that feeling, I have to like listen to it, because it's not gonna go away from me. So I just did what I had to do. And that's, oh yeah, and then on top of that, I started like researching on like scams and stuff like that, because she was like, "Oh, you can use Cash App, you can use PayPal, you can use whatever." Another one I don't remember, was like Cash App, PayPal, and something else. I don't remember, three of them. And then I started like googling it, and then they were like, "Oh, you can scam people through Cash App by this way, PayPal through this way, and a third way that I cannot remember for some reason by doing that." And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get scammed today or any day. So what I did was that I like I said, I just unfriended her on Snap. And before y'all ask how come y'all didn't take screenshots, if y'all didn't know, they have this thing on Snapchat, and where like if you take screenshots, the other person like literally will find out right there and then, because it will like send it. I think it's either send it to them or like it sends it in the chat and be like, "Oh, so and so took a screenshot." So that's why I did not take a screenshot. So I just want to say for all the minors and all that stuff to be careful and to have a very wonderful day. I also would like to add on to the fact that I also did delete her off the other app too, and her and I are like not friends on the app either, because that was just like really weird. It gave me grandma vibes and just made me feel really uncomfortable, and it gave me this weird, eerie, sickening feeling, especially with like the how overly nice she was being about it, and how she was like trying to get me to do it and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, why dear?" and all that stuff. Even fun fact, she literally added me back on Snapchat when I unadded her literally the next day, and I'm not touching that button. That button will say clean, that button will say clear, that button will say precise, because I am not touching that button at all. I have nothing to do with that button, because I'm not doing it.